In the mid 1970s, a shadow fell across the Pacific Northwest. Young women began disappearing without a trace. No screams, no witnesses, just empty dorm rooms and abandoned cars. What seemed like isolated incidents would become one of the most chilling murder spears in American history. This is the story of Ted Bundy, the man who wore a mask of charm while hiding a monster beneath him. Robert Bundy didn't look like a killer. With his striking good looks, law school credentials, and charismatic personality, he seemed destined for success. He volunteered at a suicide crisis hotline, he worked on political campaigns, women found him attractive, and his friends found him trustworthy. But beneath this carefully constructed personality lived something unspeakable, a monster. January 1974, University of Washington. 21-year-old Linda Ann Haley vanished from her basement bedroom. Her bed was made. There were no signs of struggle except for blood on her pillow and nightgown. She was simply gone and disappeared. Over the next 6 months, the pattern continued. Donna Gail Manson disappeared from Evergreen State College in March. Suzanne Raincoat vanished from Central Washington State College in April, and in May, Roberta Kathleen Parks went missing in Oregon. In June, Brenda Ball and Gorgegan Hawkins disappeared in Washington. Six women, all college aged, all attractive with long dark hair parted in the middle, all vanished without a trace. The Pacific Northwest was gripped by fear. Parents warned their daughters, campus securities increased, but no one suspected the charming young man with his arm in a sling, asking for help, carrying books to his Volkswagen Beetle. Multiple witnesses saw a handsome young man introducing himself as Ted. He approached young women, asking for help loading a sailboat onto his car. Most of them refused, but two women did not refuse. 23-year-old Jancy Oates and 19-year-old Dennis Nesland both vanished that day, in broad daylight in front of thousands of people. Their remains would be found months later in a wooded area, along with the bones of the two other unidentified victims. But Ted was just getting started. In fall 1974, he moved to Salt Lake City to attend law school. The murders followed him. The body count rose. I mean, the amount of women he captured and killed rose. Each victim fit the same profile: young, attractive woman with long dark hair. Bundy's hunting ground had expanded, but his methods remained chillingly consistent. He used fake casts and crutches to appear vulnerable. He impersonated police officers. He used his charm like a weapon, and when that did not work, he simply dragged his victims away. Laura Ame, Deborah Kent, Karen Campbell, Julie Cunningham, Denise Oliverson, Lynette Culver, Susan Curtis. The names piled up, each one a daughter, a sister, a friend, and a life cut brutally short. August 16, 1975, a routine traffic stop in Granger, Utah, would finally end Bundy's killing streak. Highway Patrol Sergeant Bob Hayward noticed a Volkswagen Beetle driving suspiciously through a residential neighborhood at 2:30 a.m. When he tried to pull it over, the driver sped away. After a brief chase, the car was finally caught. Inside the car, they found handcuffs, a crowbar, a ski mask, rope, and an ice pack. Bundy claimed they were for his job, but the investigators knew better. Slowly, painstakingly, detectives began connecting the dots. Witness descriptions, gas station receipts, the Volkswagen Beetle seen at multiple disappearance sites, credit card records placing Bundy near crime scenes. In 1976, Bundy was convicted of kidnapping Carol Darronch, a woman who had escaped his clutches. He was sentenced to 15 years in prison, but investigators suspected him of far worse. In 1977, Bundy was extradited to Colorado to face murder charges in the death of Karen Campbell, but representing himself in court, Bundy was allowed access to the law library and the building's windows. On June 7, 1977, he jumped from a second-story window and escaped into the mountains. He was then recaptured 6 days later. December 30th, 1977, Bundy escaped again, this time through a hole he'd cut in his cell ceiling. He was gone for 46 days, fleeing to Florida, and he wasn't finished with the killings. January 15th, 1978, Tallahassee, Florida. The Chi Omega sorority house at Florida State University. In the early morning hours, Bundy crept inside. In less than 15 minutes, he brutally attacked four young women as they slept. Margaret Bowman and Lisa Levy were murdered. Kathy Kleiner and Karen Chandler survived with severe injuries. Less than an hour later, he attacked another student, Cheryl Thomas, in her apartment 8 blocks away. She survived, but she was left with permanent hearing loss and equilibrium damage. 3 weeks later, 12-year-old Kimberly Leach disappeared from her middle school in Lake City, Florida. She would be Bundy's final victim. Her body was found 8 weeks later in an abandoned hog shed. February 15th, 1978, a Pensacola police officer noticed a suspicious Volkswagen and ran the plates. Stolen. When he approached, Bundy tried to run. This time there would be no escape. Ted Bundy was convicted of the Chi Omega murders and the murder of Kimberly Leach. Physical evidence, including a bite mark on Lisa Levy's body that matched Bundy's teeth, sealed his fate. He was sentenced to death. For years on death row, Bundy played games with authorities, offering information about victims in exchange for delays. He confessed to 30 murders, but investigators believe the true number may exceed 100. On January 24th, 1989, Robert Bundy was executed in Florida's electric chair. He was 42 years old. But the women he murdered never got to be 42. They never graduated college, never married, never had children, and never pursued their dreams. Linda, Donna, Suzanne, Roberta, Brenda, Georgian, Janice, Dennis, and so many others whose names we may never know. Ted Bundy spent years crafting his image as an intelligent, misunderstood figure. But the truth is far simpler and far darker. He was a predator who used his charm as a camouflage, a monster who hid behind a smile. The case of Ted Bundy changed American law enforcement forever, leading to the creation of FBI profiling units and better coordination between jurisdictions. But for the families of his victims, no change could ever be enough. Remember all the innocent victims and not the killer. We often glorify the killers. Instead, we should sympathize with the victims.